I was thinking about joining my cornerback brethren in protesting Roger Goodell's bogus suspension of Kareem Jackson by taping the words "Free K-Jack" to my Broncos hoodie. And then breaking news hit the NFL today that has me totally second guessing whether or not I'm even upset about this Kareem Jackson suspension and whether or not this ends up panning out how I think it might. There is great news for the Broncos in this. Let's dive in. So the breaking news across the NFL today is that one of the best cornerbacks to ever lace him up is Marcus Peters. We remember him being drafted early on by the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the defensive rookie of the year, just an absolute nightmare for those Peyton Manning Broncos. He was a lockdown corner. He was a three-time All-Pro player, or he was a three-time Pro Bowl player, meaning he was like one of the best corners, and then a two-time All-Pro, meaning not just like one of the best, but the best at his position. And there were rumors this offseason that the Denver Broncos were going to make a run at him. And guess what just happened yesterday? After blowing a lead to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Los Angeles, I always say that, it is now the Las Vegas Raiders, cut ties with this corner. So this is fantastic news, despite the rumor that I'm going to get to in a second. This is fantastic news because now this Raiders team is just so different than it was when we played them in week one. They're missing their head coach, who everyone said was like the Broncos' kryptonite, in Josh McDaniels. The Raiders are now paying two coaches who, in Gruden and McDaniels, who aren't even there anymore. And that is going to hamstring them for years to come because they don't have Walmart money like we do. So that's great news. And now this even is further great news that they cut one of their best players. Marcus Peters is done. I love how Russell Wilson matches up now, throwing to Sutton, throwing to Judy without Marcus Peters deep. Now, to make this even better, to make this great news even better, is that they also waived another starting safety in this guy, Rodarius Teamer. So I don't know much about him, but this is another arrest for the Vegas Raiders. Stop me if you've heard that before. This organization, the train is always coming off the tracks. It is an absolute joke. But this is great news for the Broncos to have two starting members of a defense out, head coach out. I love how we match up going to Vegas last game of the season. So great news for the Broncos in this, that the Patriots is a basic guaranteed win. They have totally let that franchise go. They're tanking for Williams. Now I think this franchise is officially, you can put a nail in the coffin because this one is over. Now to the rumor part of this. What if the Denver Broncos make a run at Marcus Peters? Marcus Peters can sign with whoever he wants now. Why wouldn't you want to go sign with the richest owner in all of sports and sign with Walmart? Why wouldn't you want to go to the hottest team in the NFL right now, winning 5 in a row? And there's so many different ways that we could plug Marcus Peters in. We have seen over and over in the NFL where you have a really talented cornerback who ends their last couple years at safety. And that's actually exactly what Kareem Jackson did. Kareem Jackson played cornerback for a lot of years for different teams, for Houston, and ended his last couple of years playing that free safety position for us. We know Justin Simmons can be stout in the run game, and we just let Marcus Peters just roam the backside. I feel fantastic about that. If we were to have Marcus Peters, and just to prove that this isn't absolutely crazy, this was a huge rumor this offseason, was that we were going to go out and sign him, not to play safety, but sign him to be opposite of Pat Surtain, which would have been awesome. But now we've seen McMillan step up, and we don't really need that. But couldn't we use him as that safety opposite of Justin Simmons? And if we have McMillan, Surtain, Justin Simmons, and Marcus Peters, I feel like you stuff the box and you let those dudes line up in man, and who can't we stop? Like, that is very, very exciting. And whether or not that rumor comes true, whether or not we actually do make a run at him, it is fantastic news because the Raiders are falling apart and we are going to end the year on a win. Mark my words, you're going to end the year on a win. So stay tuned for all the breaking Broncos news. We got you here in Broncos country. Let's ride.